Here are tonight's winning Powerball numbers from KCCI TV-8. You're watching today's TV-8. And this is News Now. This is TV-8 News at 10.
5 members of a Des Moines family crash in a fiery plane wreck and live to tell about it. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Carlin.
And I'm Kevin Cooney. The Eagle family of Des Moines is a lucky family tonight. Their plane crashed after taking off from Lancaster, Ohio. Chuck Eagle and his family were on their way home to Des Moines. Despite the crash, none of the family members was seriously injured. For the latest now, we go live to the TV-8 newsroom and Todd Magel. Todd?
Well, Kevin, it started out as an Eagle family plane trip to watch the All-Star game last night. It ended with a crash into a farm field. The single-engine Piper Malibu crashed after a takeoff from the Fairfield County Airport about 1:20 Wednesday afternoon. The crash site is near Lancaster, Ohio, about 25 miles south of Columbus. The plane landed on its top and caught fire after the crash. Still, members of the Eagle family survived. Chuck Eagle and his 9-year-old grandson, Brandon, talked to reporters.
Brandon, why don't you tell them how you were when we landed? Brandon was suspended upside down there, quite concerned, and we had to get him out of his seatbelt. The fire was dashing outside the windshield on him, and fortunately the firewall was holding for a short period of time there.
The Eagles were returning from the All-Star baseball game and were visiting relatives in Ohio before taking off for Des Moines. Chuck Eagle was the pilot. Other passengers include his wife, Joyce, their son, James, his girlfriend, Brandy, and grandson, Brandon. All escaped the wreckage, but it wasn't easy.
I thought originally we were going to have to try and lift the airplane up to something to get enough space to get people out, but it's a good thing we're all slim and trim.
Chuck Eagle owns Budget Marketing in Des Moines. Another son at work today says he's thankful his family is okay and that they're supposed to return to Des Moines tomorrow. Now, there's still no official cause of that plane crash, though. We're told the FAA is investigating. Chuck Eagle and his son James were hospitalized for minor injuries, but it appears they all will be able to return to Des Moines as soon as tomorrow. Kevin?
All right, Todd, thanks a lot.
Evening thunderstorms left their calling card tonight in central Iowa with lightning. A lightning strike at the polo fields at the Fort Des Moines complex on the south side. The lightning bolt reportedly striking a trailer, killing at least 2 horses. No other injuries reported. At about the same time, emergency crews were called to a home in northwest Polk County, where an unidentified man was apparently struck by lightning while talking on a cordless telephone. He was taken to a Des Moines hospital. His injuries are not life-threatening. John, I guess everybody wants to know if there are more storms in the forecast.
Looks like we'll get a break overnight at least. The storms right now on Super Doppler in the northeast part of the state, and they are continuing to be quite strong as they continue pushing north and east. The Waterloo area picking up some 3/4-inch hail during the last hour and also some torrential rains, but things quieting down for us. What we can expect overnight, partly cloudy conditions. As you drive in tomorrow morning, temperatures will climb into the upper 60s to lower 70s.
All right, thanks a lot, John. An apparent drowning and drug arrest in Warren County today. Sheriff's authorities there report a team of amateur scuba divers found a body in the Banner Pits area north of Indianola. The body identified as that of 17-year-old Michael Sellen of 1322 23rd in Des Moines. Authorities say a companion, 18-year-old Randy Miles, was found asleep in a nearby car. Also found in that car was 3/4 of an ounce of methamphetamine. Miles has been charged with possession with intent to deliver. An autopsy will be performed on Sellen's body to determine the exact cause of death.
Uncertain futures tonight for thousands of workers at 2 Des Moines tire plants. Just as Pirelli Armstrong workers approach a Friday strike deadline, the Wall Street Journal today reporting the plant may be sold to a smaller Illinois firm. At the same time, Pirelli Armstrong sent a letter pulling medical benefits from retirees. And at the Bridgestone Firestone plant, 1,300 union workers finished their second day on the picket line, striking over what they call unacceptable wage and benefit concessions demanded by the company. No sign of a quick end to that strike.
Well, in Georgia tonight, millions of dollars will be on the way to help flood victims there. President Bill Clinton promising $60 million in flood recovery for the South. as he toured Albany, Georgia by air today, a scene very reminiscent of 1993 here in Des Moines. The president's flood package will include money to rebuild highways and housing and help farmers who have lost their crops.
But flood relief takes time, and Georgia residents need help right now. You can help right here in Iowa by sending a donation to Flood Bank 94, TV-8, Star 102.5, KIOA, KRNT, and Boatman's Bank organized Flood Bank last year and brought it back this year. More than $12,000 have been donated so far. Send your check to 1416 Locust Street, Des Moines, Iowa, 50309. The money goes to the American Red Cross.
All right, well, coming up next on TV-8 News, a comet takes aim at the planet Jupiter, and we'll tell you where you can watch it.
Also, there's new information tonight about OJ and DNA testing. And later on, can you beat the lie detector? We'll begin a special series, so don't go away.
Say that all of them is except one, and rounding up.
Closed captioning of TV-8 News is brought to you as a public service by TV-8 and the cardiologists, surgeons, and staff at the Iowa Heart Center. You are watching TV-8 News at 10, Central Iowa's #1 news.
The much-talked-about bloody glove in the O.J. Simpson case. Tonight, more news that may link the glove to Simpson and the murder of his ex-wife.
The Simpson case tops tonight's world and national news headlines. KCBS News in Los Angeles is reporting tonight that sources close to the investigation say preliminary DNA tests on that bloody glove found on O.J. Simpson's estate show the blood is consistent with that of the two victims. The station reports there's a strong possibility that the DNA tests link Simpson to the glove as well, but unnamed sources say that remains in dispute. Meanwhile, there are also reports tonight that Simpson's longtime friend, Al Cowlings, will be prosecuted for helping the former football star. U.S. Defense Secretary William Perry says that helicopter crash over Iraq last spring was a tragedy that never should have occurred. 2 U.S. military choppers were shot down over Iraq last April, killing 26 people. A report issued today says a breakdown of command guidance and supervision resulted in the incident, and some of those involved are not cooperating with a continuing Pentagon investigation.
Well, hundreds of thousands of new Rwandan refugees are streaming across the western border with Zaire tonight at the rate of 10,000 an hour. They are fleeing from the Rwandan Patriotic Front, the rebel group that controls most of Rwanda now and is advancing on the remaining government troops. One day after that proposed merger between CBS and QVC was derailed by an 11th-hour spoiler bid to purchase the cable operation, QVC's chairman Barry Diller says his prime concern now is his shareholders. Comcast Corporation offered a bid to buy QVC away from CBS, and CBS has now walked away from the proposed merger. Diller says the issue is really on hold now as far as he's concerned.
Well, the 4th of July fireworks are, of course, over, but something else is set to light up the skies over Iowa later this month. TV8's Jody Shields has more on when to watch for a wayward comet and the planet Jupiter.
Iowa astronomer Matt Versteeg eagerly assembles his telescope. He's keeping an eye on the sky, preparing to watch the Shoemaker-Levy 9 comet slam into Jupiter. He says this is the first time scientists have been able to predict such a solar sensation.
As the comet simply got too close to Jupiter, fragmented because of the extreme amount of gravity that Jupiter has, and then commenced to break apart into a train.
Versteeg says this train of 21 chunks will smash into the planet on its backside. But since Jupiter rotates so rapidly, we'll still be able to see the aftermath of the comet collision.
If the scene conditions here are good and favorable, they should be able to see the Great Red Spot, cloud bands, and 4 of the Galilean moons of Jupiter.
This outer space collision can't be seen with the naked eye or through binoculars. So Central Iowa astronomers are setting up telescopes like this one so you could witness this historical account.
Friday night, you can observe this spectacle at Lake Aquabi beginning at 9 p.m. or Saturday night at Yellow Banks Park. You'll still be able to see it next week on Wednesday and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. from Nolan Plaza. Some scientists believe the comet's impact would be equivalent to the force of 10 trillion tons of TNT, while others like Versteeg remain skeptical about its power.
My best description is it's a mosquito that's biting an elephant. The elephant isn't really going to notice.
But Versteeg says whether or not Jupiter notices will be captured best by the lens of the Hubble telescope. Jody Shields, TV-8 News.
Now, if you have a telescope of your own, you are welcome to bring it along, and astronomers will help you aim that thing in the right direction, which is good. And the good news is there's no charge for viewing this piece of history in the making.
Oh, you going to be out there watching Jupiter?
I'd heard it was going to hit on the backside and we couldn't see it.
Well,
what is this?
But she says that it rotates so fast that then you'll be able to, like, see the aftermath.
It'll probably be so bright it'll be like daylight in the middle of the night, huh?
Yeah, sure, John.
You tell us, John.
Yes.
Isn't this your job,
From
John?
astronomy to meteorology, let's forge ahead. And as we do, we're going to look for some clearing in the Des Moines area overnight and the rain moving off to the east.
John McLaughlin has been awarded the National Weather Association's seal of approval for excellence in television weathercasting. This TV-8 weather forecast is sponsored by Statements.
More rain for the metro area. Downtown, we picked up 36 hundredths this evening, but up to the north and west, up around Urbandale toward Johnston, 1.2 inches. So definitely spotty showers once again. Clear skies right now. Temperature is 71 degrees. The wind's very light out of the north and west. They'll be somewhat variable overnight. Dew point is still up there, 69. The humidity, 93%. And the barometer slowly rising at 29.93. Super Doppler radar showing us a picture about 2 hours ago. Strong storms from north of Ames to just to the north of the Waterloo area. And as we move this now so we can look at the most current picture, we are seeing the heavier rains continuing up in the Black Hawk County area and the lighter rains starting to taper off as we move just to the north of Ames. And those showers will continue to push out of the state sometime around midnight tonight. So things are looking a little better here for the central Iowa area. Forecast maps for tonight shape up like this, with storms ending across the north and east, clear to partly cloudy skies developing toward morning across central into western Iowa with 62 to 65 degree the temperature range, and the wind somewhat variable tonight at about 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, partly sunny conditions, fairly warm again, 80 to 84 degrees, light winds out of the north and west, occasionally gusting to near 15, and a chance for some thunderstorms across the west central and northwest counties again later tomorrow afternoon. For traveling across the Midwest, 60s and 70s up to the north. Again, a chance of showers for the Duluth area. It's going to be warming up a little bit again to the south with 89 for Kansas City, about 88 for St. Louis, with scattered thunderstorms developing across Kansas, Nebraska, into South Dakota again late tomorrow, and possibly we'll be dealing with those tomorrow night across parts of western Iowa once again. Okay, this hour, 67 for Cedar Rapids and Waterloo, down to 63 in the Mason City area. The rain has kind of cooled things down where it's not raining, still quite mild. 76 for Lamoni, 70 right now in Ottumwa. Total over the last 24 hours officially at the airport, 1.05 inches of precipitation. High today in Des Moines, 84 degrees. Again, early this morning, about 64. Temperature range today from the upper 60s north, where it did have cloud cover, and scattered showers for much of the day, to the low 80s across the southern part of the state. What's happening now is the stationary front is continuing to be draped across southern Iowa, northern Missouri. We get these areas of disturbed weather that track along the front. That sparks the showers and thunderstorms. The next round will shape up later tomorrow when we see those storms from South Dakota down through Nebraska into Kansas and Oklahoma. Forecast for Des Moines and central Iowa then shapes up like this, with partly cloudy skies, variable winds, and 65 degrees. As we travel on into tomorrow, skies becoming partly cloudy, northwest winds at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, and a temperature of 84. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies, 62 degrees, and by Friday, some thunderstorms back in the forecast, 82 right now. The Saturday and Sunday outlook, dry with temperatures around 80 before a chance of storms again Monday, so hold out hope for the weekend.
All right, sounds great, and we'll hold you to the weekend.
Yes, we
will. Wait and see what happens in a couple days.
Anyway.
Thanks, John. We have some news tonight about our longtime friend and co-worker, Connie McBurney. It was announced today that Connie will be leaving TV-8 as of next month. She's not going far, just a few blocks away, to become community child advocate for Blank Children's Hospital in Des Moines. Connie will develop community outreach programs for Blank Children's Hospital. We, of course, here at TV-8 News will miss her, but it is indeed a great opportunity for her, and we wish Connie McBurney well. She will be with us until early August, and What can you say? I mean, Connie's been here on the air for more than 20 years.
She's a legend.
It won't be the same.
No, it will not.
No, but like she said, she won't be far away.
Okay,
And we're working on trying to get her lunches on the expense account. So
that's right. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. We're still working on that. But speaking of friends, Heidi is still to come with tonight's World Cup action.
First, however, can you beat the lie detector? Jeff Greenwood begins a special series of reports, Liar, Liar, coming up next.
For up-to-the-minute weather information, day or night, call the TV-8 Weather Beacon Forecast at 262-7173. Sponsored by Western Salad Dressing.
A question. What happens when you lie? Does your heart throb? Does your pulse quicken?
Well, you may have the perfect poker face, but a lie detector almost always knows the difference. Tonight, in the first of his special reports, Liar, Liar, crime beat reporter Jeff Greenwood investigates how a lie registers on one of those polygraph machines.
Arm straight out in front of you, and then lean forward a little bit. Okay, place this across your stomach. This measures the stomach muscles, and these register the sweat gland activity of the body. This registers the heart, of course, the various activity of the heart. Did you write the number 5?
No.
Can you beat a lie detector? DCI Special Agent Dennis Wilbur says it's nearly impossible. He challenged me to try it. I pick a number between 1 and 6. I choose the number 4. Agent Wilbur tells me to lie about it. His job is to detect the lie.
Jeff, regarding that number you just wrote down, that piece of paper tucked under your leg, did you write the number 1?
No.
The polygraph measures my heart rate and breathing and sweat glands.
Did you write the number 2?
No.
When the agent asks me about something I'm not lying about, my responses appear pretty normal.
Did you write the number 3?
No.
But as we approach the number I picked, number 4, my body begins to respond without me even knowing it. You'd probably never know I picked number 4 by just looking at me.
Did you write the number 4?
No.
Look closely at Agent Wilbur's reaction, and you can see he knows I'm lying. Even though I tried to play it cool, my body sends the polygraph pens nearly off the paper.
When I asked number 4, look how it went clear up to pen stops. From the bottom, this was pen stops down here, went clear up to pen stops up here. That's as far as it could go.
What happens when we lie? Des Moines psychologist Dr. Joyce Keene.
Our heart rate changes, our blood pressure changes, our breathing pattern changes, our circulatory system changes. Many aspects of our physiology are in line with our psychology.
So a polygraph measures involuntary reactions. The green line measures your heart rate, the red line measures your sweat glands, and the blue line's your breathing. A trained examiner knows what it all means.
It's a very sensitive instrument. It only registers absolute and complete truthfulness. And as far as the instrument's concerned, absolute and complete is 100%. Anything less than that doesn't measure up to its sensitivity.
And I sure didn't measure up when I lied about the number 4.
I knew it was number 4 that you had written down there.
I'm a terrible liar.
Well, you're a good candidate for a polygraph examination. It shows that you do have a conscience.
I found that even though this was an experiment and I wasn't under investigation, the polygraph was intimidating. Just the thought of losing control of my thoughts was unnerving. Imagine what it's like when you're a suspect. What are polygraphs used for now, and more important, how accurate are they? What do critics say about them, and can your boss force you to hook up to one of these? Find out all that tomorrow night in Part 2 of Liar, Liar. Jeff Greenwood, TV-8 News.
Well, Heidi's up next with a great big cyclone who's getting back into shape.
That's the truth, too. Lauren Meyer gets one more chance. His story and all the sports when we come back.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. Go Bulgaria.
I'll say it like a soccer announcer would.
No, I can't do that. I'll make a fool out of myself. Go, 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 go.
Okay. 24 teams have been whittled down to 2 now in the battle for the World Cup crown. Tonight in Pasadena, Brazil won the right to face Italy in the finals. A 5-minute flurry in the first half of the Italy-Bulgaria game was the difference this afternoon in East Rutherford. Roberto Baggio knocked in both goals, giving him 5 in the last 3 games. 2-0 Italy after Baggio's second. But Bulgaria cut the lead in half late in the first half. Risto Stoichkov with a penalty kick that completed the scoring in the game, sending Italy to the championship on Sunday. Just 1 goal in the match tonight. Brazil scored early in the second half for the victory over Sweden. Jorginho with the assist to Romario for his 5th goal of the tournament. Brazil outshot Sweden 26-3, and Brazil has won 3 World Cup titles, as have the Italians. The championship game is Sunday at the Rose Bowl. Bulgaria and Sweden play Saturday for 3rd place. East entered its scheduled softball doubleheader at North tonight, knowing a win in the first game would be a milestone of sorts. And when Tricia Yenser hits the ground ball, Missy Grace scores to make it 8-0 East in the 5th inning of the first game. But then the rains came, washing out the game, so the Scarlets must wait to clinch their 6th American Conference softball title in the last 7 years. It's quite a while before the Cyclones begin basketball practice, but as Chuck Reed reports, it's never too early to start getting in shape, especially if you haven't been able to play much in the past 6 months. Chuck takes us to the Center Court Summer Basketball League with his story on Lauren Meyer.
It's not Hilton Coliseum, but for Lauren Meyer, playing basketball anywhere in Ames is a special event. After surviving a train truck collision last winter, Meyer is still trying to get his game back to where it was. He recently returned from a trip with an NIT All-Star team to Canada, Portugal, and Italy, where he faced good, tough competition for the first time since the accident.
I was pretty pleased. The way I was running the court, I think I was running the court a lot better than I was last season, but we didn't have any weight rooms over there, so it was kind of hard to keep your strength over a month.
Now, Lauren says he'll never forget playing and touring Europe, but the one thing he'll most remember about the trip was actually getting to compete on the basketball floor once again.
It's a great feeling just to know that you can come back, that I was able to come back, and it's a good feeling to get back on the court and you get a run going, get the break going, and it's just a real good feeling, throwing down another slam dunk or hitting a nice jump hook or something like that. It's just a good feeling, and like you said, just getting the competitiveness back is just a great feeling.
Another great feeling was getting to play for former St. John's coach Lou Carnesecca, the coach of the NIT team.
He's a great guy, and he reminded me a lot of Coach Orr. He was old and swears a lot and really gets on you, and he's a real good guy, though.
Great memories of Coach Orr, huh? Chuck Reed, TV-8 Sports.
At least Lauren didn't tell Chuck that Carnesecca reminded him of Cyclone coach Tim Floyd. Rudy Tomjanovich, the coach of the world champion Houston Rockets, was released from custody today in Houston. Tomjanovich was arrested for drunk driving at 3 this morning and then refused to take a breathalyzer test. Tomjanovich says the police and he disagree on whether or not he broke the law. Tanya Harding's ex-husband Jeff Gillooly is headed for prison. Gillooly was sentenced for his part in the attack on figure skater Nancy Kerrigan last January, today in Portland. Gillooly was also fined $100,000. Harding has had her U.S. figure skating title stripped and is banned from the U.S. Figure Skating Association for her role in the attack. The 23-stage Tour de France bicycle race is nearly half over, and today the cyclists hit the mountains. It was a foggy day near Lourdes town as the racers entered their grueling 164-mile trek. Luc Leblanc of France won today's stage. Miguel Indurain of Spain maintained his overall lead, but American Lance Armstrong slipped to 20th place. He's over 13 minutes behind. For tonight's play of the day, we go to Nashville, where the AAA All-Star Baseball game is taking place. 6th inning, Paul Ferries of the Phoenix Firebirds doubles in Alan Battle and Tim Laker. That gives the National League affiliates a 7-4 lead over the AL affiliates. It's now 8-5 National League in the 9th. Iowa's Mark Lee, by the way, came on to pitch in the 6th inning for the National League. The Cubs are home tomorrow night against Oklahoma City.
We've been away for a while. It'd be good to see
Not a really big play of the day, but just sort of an informative play of the day.
That's right. You had to show those AAA All-Stars.
Right.
Okay. Thanks, Heidi.
Are there any who are old and swear a lot, Heidi?
AAA?
Lauren Meyer.
AAA. There are a few in AAA.
John will be back with the morning forecast right after this. Back with John McLaughlin and another look at the forecast for the next day.
Quieting down overnight tonight. We'll see skies becoming partly cloudy, 65 degrees. And for tomorrow, partly cloudy again and 84.
Thank you, John. And finally tonight, fun and games at Des Moines Southeast Community Center. Nearly 400 inner-city youngsters and their families came together for a carnival. The dunk tank was a big attraction in these sultry conditions today. Others participated in the ring toss and even shot some hoops for prizes. This is the 5th summer Des Moines Parks and Recreation has sponsored the event for disadvantaged inner-city children. Looks like they had a lot of fun down there.
Some good beanbag tossers.
Yeah.
But not with that thing.
The fun continues with the Late Show coming up next.
Have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Blank Children's Hospital wanted